Hey, everybody out there with us once again is famed and very accurate trends forecaster Gerald Celente. We're here to talk about his latest trends journal issued this week about what's going on in Israel, what's going on in the Gaza Strip, what's going on in the world. Now, Gerald, for years you've been warning us that when all else fails, they take you to war. Well, it looks like pretty much everything is failing. It looks like they are taking us more and more to war, a bigger war, perhaps a world war, perhaps even nuclear annihilation. Gerald?
Yeah, I mean it's what's going on right in front of our eyes. But let's not talk about that. How's Taylor Swift and a new boyfriend doing?
Yeah, that's what I'm really anxious to talk about.
Yeah, I mean the rest of this doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Let's just stay stupid,
Yeah.
And oh, and by the way, now the Ukraine war is over. We got the Israeli war. That's the only one that, I mean, it's gone. It's out of the news.
Yeah.
I mean, the stupidity and ignorance and arrogance of what's going on, it's frightful. One of our top trends for 2023. It's right there. Came out early January. Middle East meltdown.
Right.
Warned about it. We're watching this guy Netanyahu. Oh, the guy that they got to go to send to being brought up on charges that he created this judicial reform movement act that had a civil war going on in Israel. That Netanyahu, and that he wanted to stay in government because if once he got out, then they could take him to court. And he creates this judicial. Right. They create this Judicial Reform Act. For over 30 weeks, hundreds of thousands of people were taking to the streets in Israel in protest. Right. And again, we only put down what's being reported, and then we give our trends analysis and trend forecasts. So he comes in with what the mainstream media is calling a far-right government. Far-right extremists. Oh, that's right. Spit on Christians. It's okay. I'm not making it up. You can read the Jerusalem Post. They even reported it.
Right.
Week after week, month after month since he's been in there. Oh, what happened in the city of Jenin? One after another attacks into Gaza. Oh, Gaza? You mean the place that they turned into an open-air concentration camp back in 2007? You can't leave and you can't come in. That Gaza, where over 50% of the people are unemployed. They got about a little over 2 million people, and 1 million of them are children. That Gaza that they're bombing now in retaliation for what Hamas did. Oh, they've only been bombing it away for, only about 17, 16 years or more. So going back to Netanyahu, when all else fails, they take you to war. Not my words. Again, Jerusalem Post, Times of Israel. Israel was in a civil war. When all else fails, they take you to war. What followed the Great Depression? World War II. What followed the dot-com bust? The war on terror. Everybody forgot about the dot-com bust. The country's in recession. We're going to get that guy Osama bin Laden, dead or alive. And 88% of the people swallowed the crap spewing out of the mouth of that little piece of arrogant, murderous, mindless boy, Georgie Bush. Same thing going on in Israel. And you can't say, and again, I don't want anybody calling me an anti-Semite. I call things the way I see them. And the Ashkenazi Jews, they're Eastern Europeans. They're not Semites that are running Israel. Got it? Oh, the Palestinians are Semites. Yeah, the people from the Mesopotamia region. That's right. And as I say, 3 of my last 4 girlfriends were Jewish, so don't call me an anti-Semite. And my best friends are Jewish. Nothing to do with religion. Has to do with the maniacs in charge. And all they do is keep stealing Palestinian land. I don't call it an apartheid state. Human Rights Watch does, and many other organizations for what they've done. I'm going to read you something from just came out on October 10th. Where did I do it then? I just had it. It's from, here we go, Reuters. Boop. Not misinformation. Oh, and by the way, if you say anything about anti-Israel, we are going to censor you. We censored you with the COVID war, and we're going to censor you with this war. You are not allowed to say anything against Israel. Israel has the right to defend themselves. Nobody else does.
You know, Gerald, even another Israeli newspaper ran a big editorial just yesterday blaming Netanyahu's policies with the Palestinians for creating the atmosphere where you get radicals rising up in return. So, but, you know, you don't hear that in the American media. And
no, and Haaretz is the only paper that does that.
Yeah.
So here's the article. UN says civilian sieges, quote, prohibited, end quote, as Israel strikes Gaza. Remember, this is October 10th. The United Nations Humanitarian Office said on Tuesday that nearly 200,000 people, or nearly a tenth of the population, have fled their homes in Gaza since the start of hostilities, and they are poised for shortages of water and electricity due to the blockade. Israel air operations have struck residential buildings, including large tower blocks, as well as schools and UN buildings across Gaza, resulting in civilian casualties. The United Nations Human Rights Chief said, citing information gathered by his office, such acts may amount to a war crime. UN human rights spokesperson later clarified in a Geneva press briefing. All right? It's okay to keep slaughtering the Palestinians. And again, I'm totally opposed to what Hamas did, just like I'm totally opposed to what Russia did with their invasion, but I totally understand why it happened. If somebody broke into your house, a gang, and put you, your wife, and your kids under their control, you don't leave this place. You do what we tell you to do. And you're there year after year after year. You think you're going to get out of your mind and do anything you can to get out of there and retaliate any way you can? As we used to say in the Bronx, payback's a bitch. This is terrible what's going on. Nobody's talking about peace. Nobody. Oh, you got these little arrogant boys, these little arrogant nothing boys like little Marco Rubio, little Lindsey Graham, more war. Hey, boy, go over there and fight or shut your mouth. Arrogant little warmongers. Nobody's talking about peace. Peace is a dirty word. Oh, how about those terrible Harvard students who put out anti-Israeli message that the CEOs of the big hedge funds that own the country condemn? And don't give them a job, they warn. Make sure we have a list of all they are so they don't make any money. Yeah. How dare you criticize Israel? I could criticize the United States? Yes. But you're not allowed to criticize Israel. They can rob and steal and kill anybody that they want. You look at the map in 1947, 48. When they invented Israel, it's that big that Israel had. Now it's that much territory that they have. Yeah. And you're locking the people in Gaza. You can't leave. You can't come in. You can't go out. Where's the condemnation? Where are all the religions? How come they're not talking about peace? Well, all you Quakers die in an earthquake? Where are they?
God gave them that land.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah. chapter 6, paragraph 9 in the yeah. Oh no, Moses came down with 15 commandments. He dropped 5 of them. The ones that said that land is their land, is land. Yeah. And the world began just around then. Oh, those skulls that they found are what, 30 million years old? No, life just began when Moses was around. And with Noah in the ark, I forgot about him.
Gerald, most Americans don't understand the history of Palestine. And they have no idea, what happened to the Palestinians, the displacements when Israel was founded, and its ongoing expansion, the settlements and, quote, occupied territory, as you pointed out in the Trends Journal.
Yeah. Settlements. Isn't that a nice word? Settlements. Happy trails to you. You're going, there's nobody there. We're going to take over. Settlements. Occupied territory. It's against the Geneva Convention. It's against the United Nations. These are illegally occupied territories. And as you mentioned, when they threw the Palestinians out, only about 700,000 of them, they pushed out of the country when they took it over. That's fine. And again, here's the bottom line. None of this is my business. This crap has been going on and on and on and on and on. I am an American. I'm concerned about America. I don't want $3.8 billion of my money going over there every year to Israel. One of the richest, Tel Aviv, I think, is one of the most expensive, richest cities in the world. And almost $4 billion of our money going there to give them more weapons to kill Palestinians. I don't want my money going there. If you want your money going there, go send it over there. And you go over there and fight. Or shut your mouth.
That $4 billion is yearly. Now, probably much more to come now that we're arming them and sending all kinds of aid on top of give them to Ukraine.
Yep. And we're sending warships out there. If we go to war against Iran, it's going to be the end of life on Earth.
How do you see that unfolding, Gerald?
I don't know how it's going to unfold. A false flag attempt, something. They keep stealing Iranian oil, the Americans. Israel is bombing Iran. Israel, like the United States, could bomb anybody that they want. Israel could bomb the hell out of Syria. Oh, they're only in Lebanon for how long? Oh, those lousy Hezbollah. How dare they throw Israel out of Lebanon? Oh, but Israel has the right to secure their borders. They could steal any land they want. Hey, how about Russia with Ukraine? Go to hell, Celente. Only Israel could do it. We don't care about Russia, what they say about Ukraine and having NATO on their borders. Only Israel shouldn't have anybody on their borders. They can steal and kill anybody that they want. Golan Heights. Stolen land.
Well, why don't you explain a little more?
Oh, I forgot about the USS Liberty, Americans.
How about the King David Hotel?
Yeah. Tell them about that.
Well, how many British soldiers were killed when the Israelis blew it up?
Yeah.
There's even a monument now. They celebrate that victory. But that wasn't considered terrorism. But anyway, Gerald, just so there's
let's just stop back off on that. And what the hell are the English doing over there?
Yeah.
These are the ones that created the Balfour Agreement.
Yeah.
That made all this begin. Oh, the sun never sets on the British Empire. We can murder and kill anybody that we want, anywhere that we want. Why, how dare those Argentinians want to throw us out of that island that we own down there? They're still at it.
Gerald, just so there's no misunderstanding with our audience that we're rooting for for Hamas, we're not. Again, you said you don't condone it, but you understand it. Tell us a little more about that.
I understand it because look what they've done to the people for all these years. Again, we've been writing week after week with this new Israeli government what they've been doing to the Palestinians in Gaza. Attack after attack after attack after attack. Going on and on and on and on and on. And we've been warning, they're ramping it up. They're ramping it up. We've been saying this. They're going to take it to war. We've been writing about it since it's been happening. So if you have no life, you're in an open air concentration camp, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to be, I had enough. You want to kill me? I'm going to kill you. Oh, and all this stuff out that now, whether it's true or not, is coming from the Israeli Defense Force about them hacking off the kids. I get, but I'm getting emails, believe me, because of what I'm saying and writing. Oh, how dare the Hamas hacking off the heads of children and killing women. Oh, yeah, terrible if they are. But what's the difference between cutting off a kid's head or Israeli bombing them to death? 265 Israeli children dead? How about the thousands of Palestinian children dead? Oh, you could bomb them to death, but don't cut their head off. Murder's murder.
Yeah.
Again, it's all we're getting is one side of the story, not the why it happened. It's an open concentration camp. And I'm not calling Israel an apartheid state. Human Rights Watch, one after another. It's an apartheid state. The Jews have more rights than the rest of the people there. It's in their own writing.
Well, I'm sure just by saying that, we are going to get plenty of criticism on this. But again, all we're trying to explain is what led up to this. You know, there's been.
That's all.
But,
yeah. There's article after article. And by the way, as I say, if you want to call somebody an anti-Semite, go look up this guy, Norman Finkelstein. Oh, no, that's not an Italian name. Finkelstein is Jewish. You read what he has and all the people that write in his articles that he has. You go and read Phyllis Bennis, Bennis, a fellow of the Institute for Policy Studies and serves on the National Board of Jewish Voice for Peace. All of my Jewish friends are totally opposed to what's going on. And they've been totally opposed to this ever since I've known them for decades.
Yeah, Finkelstein was quickly described as a self-hating Jew when he pointed out some of what Israel was doing. And by the way, Alan Dershowitz was on Fox News the other night bemoaning the fact that Finkelstein is still allowed to speak at Harvard, but he's not, without huge protests breaking out, if he's allowed at all.
Yeah. No, again, here, it is an article from the mainstream media. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Iran say Israel has only itself to blame for Hamas attacks. The kingdom, this is from Saudi Arabia, recalls its repeated warnings of the dangers of the explosion of the situation as a result of the continued occupation and deprivation of the Palestinian people of their legitimate rights and the repetition of systemic provocations against its sanctities. Again, you can see this is coming. And as we said, the Netanyahu government, we only put the articles as they were coming out. It's in your Trends Journal, week after week of what was going on as it was being reported. They were provoking this. You look at the right-wing extremist government that he brought in, and that is the language of the mainstream media.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Gerald, I know you have to go, so just wrapping it up now. We seem to be heading towards a wider war. Let's hope not. And also economically now, to wrap it up, where is this taking us economically?
Okay. Again, one of our top trends for 2023 was Middle East meltdown. If the United States and Israel go to war against Iran, first of all, it's going to be the beginning of the end of life on Earth. It'll be the beginning of nuclear annihilation. And before that happens, you're going to see oil prices, Brent crude spike to above $130 a barrel. Remember, Iran controls a lot of that area in the Straits of Hormuz over there, where a lot of the oil moves through. If there is a war that breaks out, any kind of conflict with Iran, and it hits the oil numbers, production, it'll crash the global economy and the equity markets. And we are on the verge of that already, a crash of the markets. The markets, to me, in October have been artificially propped up. Oh, you just saw the new inflation numbers, wholesale inflation. Oh, higher than expected. Yeah, no kidding. Now, what is the Fed going to do? Now the Fed wants to hold interest rates at least to the end of the year. And as we said, they're going to lower them in 2024 in the run up to the presidential reality show. They do it all the time to keep the party in power because they're running our government. Our Treasury Secretary is Janet Yellen. What was the last job? Oh, she was the head of the Federal Reserve. You mean the head of the Federal Reserve? Private corporation is now our Secretary of Treasury? Yeah, that's right. So they're going to do everything they can to keep the gang that's in charge now in charge, not to put it another gang. It's the Bloods and the Crips that people call the Democrats and Republicans. They're both murderers and thieves. They steal our money and the names are too big to fail to give to the banksters and kill people all over the world in the name of bringing freedom and democracy in a war near you. And I want to make it clear, I am not at all, so I condemn what Hamas has done. Yeah. I condemn it.
Yeah.
I am totally opposed to what Israel has done, and I don't believe in the Israeli state. I don't believe in the Balfour Agreement. I don't believe in the people that created it. So I want to make that clear too. So I don't think I'm, playing the game here. It should have never happened. And again, we've been writing about it in the Trends Journal for years. And people cancel their subscription because I say that. Just like I don't believe that the French should have been in Indochina, Mali, or the British in Ireland or anywhere else. It's not your country. Get the hell out of there. Don't tell me what happened back in the day of Moses and this land is your land. Don't want to hear it, because then let's give back all of you people up in Canada, all the North Americans, give all your land back to the Indians. Oh, and get the hell out of California, New Mexico, and Texas. Get the hell out. That belongs to Mexico. It's not your land. So let's stop with this thing about recreating a whole map anytime you want.
Yeah, and once again, Gerald, the savagery that's going on there, I mean, there is no way that we think it's justified. No way it's justified. But what's lacking in the media reports, especially in America, is conditions that generated the conditions that let radical people and savage people rise up. I mean, that's part of the story too. That's never told in the American media.
Not at all. And again, what is Israel accomplishing now by destroying, bombing people's homes all over Gaza? What did you accomplish?
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, they can't leave. They're locked in there.
Supposedly, they're going to have a corridor, an escape corridor through Egypt that's being negotiated now. That's the way.
Okay, so they're going to have a corridor, but in the meantime, they're there now, and they're living under hell.
In one of the most densely populated spots on Earth, over 2 million people packed there. So how do they avoid massive civilian casualties?
Yeah.
Hey, you worried about climate change, all you people? Yeah, those bombs are great for the air. They're terrific. Yeah. It's fine. It'll stay right there.
And don't forget, our president said climate change is the biggest threat, not any of this other stuff. So it goes on and on, Gerald. But thanks.
We have evil, demonic people in charge of the world, as I see it. That little arrogant Biden. He's 3 years older than me. 5 draft deferments. It was with Vietnam War era guys. 5 draft deferments. His last one he claimed he had bad asthma. Oh, but he bragged about what a great athlete he was in college. Oh, but you can't go fight? Yeah, but I love war. And I hate everybody that doesn't love war. I'm Joe Biden. I'm little Mitch McConnell. Out of my mind. I love war. Never fought.
You know,
Lindsey Graham, a little nothing of a clown boy that they keep quoting and quoting and quoting.
Yeah.
Quoting a little piece of crap, and I call him that to his face, along with that little Marco Rubio. Little pieces of crap. That's all the government is.
You know, Gerald, we've discussed this before, but what I find really disturbing is the cavalier attitude towards escalating something that could end in a nuclear war. I mean, they think it's winnable. I mean, you know, it's incredible that they're either that ignorant, that stupid, or that crazy.
Yeah, you don't ask a murderer why they murdered. They're out of their minds. They're out of their minds. What? Because they got a jacket and tie on? Oh, and I'm tired of the crap that, oh, if only women were in charge.
Yeah.
Oh, you hear Nikki Haley?
Yeah. Hillary.
Hitlery. One after another. Good and bad comes in every race, creed, color, gender. So take it easy, everybody. If only women were in charge. Yeah, like Condoleezza Rice. Oh, I forgot Susan Rice. Oh, Samantha Power. Oh, you Condoleezza Rice. The next mushroom cloud you see. Yeah, that was with the selling the lie of the Iraq War. Oh, and that guy, Colin Powell, holding up his little colon of crap to the UN. This is proof that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. I think he was a couple of shades darker than me. Oh, and our Nobel Peace of Crap Prize winner, Barack Obama, he's a couple of shades darker than me too. Again, race, creed, and color, good and bad, comes in all of the nationalities, and everybody else has nothing to do with that. It only has to do with the heart and soul.
Gerald Celente, I know you got to get going, but thanks once again for the update, and hopefully we'll be here to talk again. Thanks, Gerald.
The people better unite for peace. And as I said, you well know, I don't just talk about it. I do everything I can. I launched Occupy Peace, and I had peace rallies, and I try to do everything I can to bring peace on earth. So everybody listening, if you want to do something, donate to Occupy Peace. Ackerman, who hates those people in Harvard that are against Israel, he doesn't donate a penny for peace. None of these billionaires do. Hey, but you'll give it to the war machine, won't you?
And, you know, also, Gerald, your rallies that you've been holding in Kingston, New York, no media coverage. It's incredible. Totally ignored.
Thousands of people, no media coverage. Yeah. Oh, and I have no names here, too, like Judge Andrew Napolitano, Scott Ritter. Oh, yeah, no, nobody's. Yeah, maybe, but if I had Beyonce here, oh, then it would be wonderful.
Yep. And so it goes, as Kurt Vonnegut used to say.
Yeah.
I know you got to go. Thanks very much for joining us, and hopefully we'll be talking again. Thanks.
All the best.